So, and the next game is Riders Republic. Tried that game out. Man, that game sucks.
Oh, Ubisoft, I like that game.
What is going on with you?
I like that game. I enjoy that game.
Why?
It's an easy game to just throw on and just shut your brain off. Go to the tallest hill, go down with your bike, and then hit a cool ramp, and then get into your squirrel suit and go.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Active Reload, episode 62.
62, are you sure?
62.
I think it's 63.
Oh, is it 63. 63. We're only 6 numbers away from the big old special episode. You know what I'm talking about?
That's right.
It's going to be a big day. We're all going to be switched up.
Yep. They'll be upside down.
We'll be
One
upside
of us
down.
will be.
Yeah. Welcome to the show. It's a gaming podcast. We're going to talk about video games. You know what we should do? Boom. Yeah. Episode 69, best sex scenes in video games.
Oh.
Just thought about that.
Gosh. Great idea, James.
All right. Welcome to the episode today. That's not this episode. That's a couple episodes down the road.
Yeah.
We're going to talk some PlayStation news. They got a direct coming up, and who knows what
by the time you're hearing this, it's already happened.
It's already happened.
Wow. Twisted Metal.
Watching.
I can't believe it's coming back in video game form.
I cannot believe they brought back Fat Princess. That's my wife, you son of a... Just kidding. I'm not married. We're going to talk about that. I want to talk about another PlayStation thing. Them putting out the nostalgic PlayStation 5 Pro and how it fooled all you suckers. All right? It fooled all of you. And then, honestly, not a lot of news. And then we'll talk about games coming out this week and then what we're playing. And that'll be it.
Wow, a lot of remasters.
Yeah, probably a shorter episode this week. So love it, it, literally like it, and then comment, and then subscribe. Cool. Thanks, guys. Let's do it. PlayStation. Ever heard of it?
No.
Sony. Ever heard of them? They're pretty good at what they do sometimes.
So there is a direct going, and this is before it's actually happening. But I was going to say predictions, but
it's already
we can already predict everything. I guarantee it's going to be some sort of remaster. It's kind of not going to be that interesting. It's going to be like Stellar Blade. We're sorry we lost $400 million.
Right. But Stellar Blade, sorry we lost $400 million because that's Concord, not Stellar Blade.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Yeah, but Stellar Blade
could be in trouble too.
Forgot to check that trademark. Yeah, I think Georgia looks like there is another company named Stellar Blade.
What do they? Do you know what they do?
I think it was some sort of home repair. I think.
Why are they called Stellar Blade?
I have no idea.
Maybe like landscaping.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe that's gonna be it. Maybe that would make sense. So yeah, direct going on. It's going direct into the garbage. I made that joke last time with the Nintendo one. It could be really good though. I actually don't know.
It's actually not PlayStation Direct. It's called PlayStation Stateofplay. But it's the same thing.
It should just be called State of PlayStation. PlayStation State of Play is too much of a word. That's a word jumble.
It's Sony Stateofplay.
Oh, okay, whatever. So I think they're probably going to show a lot of the Pro. Like that's going to be the big thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then they're going to show the PS5 Pro that looks like the PS1. And
why does that bother you so much?
Because that's exactly the biggest problem that I have with these big companies. They're like, oh, here's the PS5 Pro. It's $700. People are going to hate it, but you know what you're going to like? The fact that it feeds on your nostalgia just because it looks like a PlayStation 1. Yeah, but you can get a PlayStation 1.
Here's the thing. Yeah, you know what? And PlayStation 1s are awesome. And Sony, please, for God's sake, can you please have some sort of PlayStation 1 emulator where it up-reses?
If it did fine.
There is this great emulator called DuckStation, and it does exactly that, and it's fantastic.
And it's on mobile too, right? I think
no, it's not.
Not the PlayStation one?
I don't think iPhones and phones are powerful enough. You need a pretty powerful machine to run it, apparently.
Yeah.
Back when the Series S and Series X came out, they had developer mode easily accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And when people were launching their systems in development mode, you can put in DuckStation, and it was running that thing flawlessly in 4K and all this stuff, and it was cool. I always wanted to do it, but I'm not that savvy enough to do that. And I think I was nervous that my Series X was going to break, and I'd have to send it in for repair. I don't want to void any warranty. What are you looking at, buddy?
I'm looking at the PS5 Slim just to get my facts down here.
The PS5 Slim.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's the PS5 Pro Slim.
Yes, the Pro.
Yeah, sorry. It's a slimmed down version of the Pro.
Okay, so it's going to be a limited thing. It's a collector's thing.
Right.
So, of course, it's more expensive.
It's actually cheaper.
Then $700?
It's $500, according to what I'm looking at.
Okay, so it's a PS5 Pro. It's not the PS5, or it's a PS5 Slim, not the Pro. The Pro is $700 without a disc drive.
It says, okay, among the offerings is a PlayStation 5 Pro bundle that will have a litany of good. This is from The Gamer, by the way. Maybe a good check just how much these bundles and accessories will cost. However, according to a reliable industry insider, at the very least, the PS5 Slim and limited edition DualSense will be cheaper than anticipated. So I don't know. It's just this is my biggest problem. Okay, because this is what they're doing now. This is how they're getting people to spend. Can you imagine? Would you buy? Let me ask you something.
Yeah, if I had money, yes, I would.
No,
it's for people who can spend extra money on collector's items.
But 5 minutes ago. Not even a week ago, we were like, what are they doing? What are they doing? PS5 Pro bundle, $700. Have you lost your mind? And then they show something shiny in front of you, and they're like, never mind.
This is cool, not me. I mean,
this is the coolest thing I ever seen.
I'm sure the people who were willing to fork out the Pro money, they were going to fork out this thing. So
I know, but that was the whole thing, is everybody was like, if Xbox released a stronger version of the Series X priced it at $700, we would be pissed. Rightfully so. Because it'd be stupid.
I wouldn't be pissed, man. I don't care when people, as long as they offer it.
Okay, right. Sorry, pissed is the wrong word. But we would be like, $700. Just buy a PC at that point. Just build a PC at that point. And then if they said, actually, this Xbox Series X, it's actually just going to look like the original Xbox. And then we were like, this is the greatest thing I ever seen.
Well,
how stupid would that be?
You can tug on my nostalgia strings. I don't care. I'm not going to buy it.
But the thing is, that's the only thing they're offering. It doesn't change anything. It's just the fact that it looks like a PS1.
Yeah.
They're not going to emulate anything like it's a PS1.
That'd be great.
But they're not going to.
I know.
Because they haven't.
So speaking of that,
looks like it.
Here are some IP, some PlayStation franchises that they haven't touched in a long time. I was just going to name off of these and see if you recognize any of these. And these are franchises that I think that PlayStation should bring back. I have no idea what they're doing with these. They're not selling them.
Mm-hmm.
That would be stupid. But they're also not doing anything with them. They're just making remasters of Last of Us Part 2, Remaster of Part 4.
There's one of these on here that I think is going to get something eventually.
There's a couple, but I'm just going to name them off.
Go ahead.
Right, I just went off the... They're not in order in any way.
Right.
But here we go. My favorite franchise in PlayStation, Wipeout. Racing game, awesome futuristic racing game. Twisted Metal, Fat Princess, which is an awesome IP, kind of strange, usually a top-down action game or puzzle game, multiplayer.
I would say Twisted Metal would be on that maybe list because they did make the show, and apparently the show's pretty good.
Fat Princess is really cool, very funny. It's actually one of their franchises that is comedy.
Yeah.
Parappa the Rapper is comedy too, but I didn't put that on there. I don't know why. Legend of Dragoon, Heavenly Sword, Killzone, Resistance, Bloodborne, Infamous, Siphon Filter, The Getaway. I don't know if you've ever heard of The Getaway. It's awesome.
Sounds
awesome
like
London gangster franchise.
Are you a driver? Is that why it's called The Getaway?
No. The first Getaway, you are looking for your wife and your child were kidnapped, I believe. And he has some affiliation with the mob, and you go after him and kill him. It's very Mad or Max Payne.
Oh, I said Mad Max. Yeah. Why did I say that?
It's very Max Payne, but with a lot more Guy Ritchie in it. A lot more Guy Ritchie. Yeah, very stylish. Twisted Metal, I already said it.
Yep.
Socom.
I don't think that one's ever coming back.
No, I think that one is.
You think so?
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. Motorstorm.
Okay, yeah.
We know why that's not going because Evolution Studios was shut down. They did Drive Club. Legacy of Kain. Oh.
Crystal Dynamics,
yeah. That's the Tomb Raider people.
Yep.
MAG. Remember that thing?
Stupid name.
Right. No, not really.
It's an acronym, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's it for?
Massive Action Game.
That's so dumb.
Warhawk, Parasite Eve, and Jet Moto. Now I'm just going to... What?
The one that I do think is happening... I do think we're going to get a Bloodborne 2 eventually.
So I
think that's happening.
Yeah, okay. Let's start with Bloodborne. Bloodborne is probably the last new IP or new franchise that they came up with that was a huge, huge hit. everybody loves Bloodborne. That might be the best Souls game outside of maybe Elden Ring. That might be the most favorite Souls game.
Yeah.
Made by From Software.
Yeah. So that was a PlayStation exclusive when it came out?
Yeah, PS4.
Oh, yeah, it still is, isn't it? Yeah.
Still is. It's stuck on PS4. Mm-hmm. It's stuck at 30 frames.
Yeah.
And it has never come to PC, which I think the PC crowd of Sony games, of Sony fans, would probably embrace that more than anything. That's probably the most asked for game from the PC crowd.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
They're like, why are we getting, what did they just get? God of War 2?
Yeah, Ragnarok.
Why did we just get Ragnarok? Yeah. We'd rather have Bloodborne. At least some sort of port.
That's a good point. That's a weird...
Up-res port, anything.
Ragnarok came out 3 years ago?
You know what's really funny? They got a Dark Souls, or a Demon Souls remake.
Oh, yeah.
Before Bloodborne. And everybody was like, okay,
I wonder what's going on. It's not like
but...
FromSoft has let go of anybody that made the original or anything like that. They're just...
No, and it's not that... I mean, Bluepoint is the one who made or remade Demon Souls when the PS5 came out, and it's still one of the best PS5 exclusives. Why can't they just do...
They should do it.
They're actually making their own new game, but they can still have someone do it.
More than anything, I'm surprised that it hasn't... Yeah, there hasn't been at least a trailer for a new one. Just because it's been weird. We got a new I almost called it a Mech Assault game. What was the name of the one?
What?
I almost called it Mech Assault, but that's not what it is.
Oh, Armored Core.
Armored Core. We got a new Armored Core game. Yeah. They released an entirely new IP in Elden Ring since Bloodborne. Yeah. I think they did Dark Souls 3 after Bloodborne.
No, they did. Yeah, they did Dark Souls 3 after Bloodborne.
So, I mean... They're going to be done. They're done now.
They did Sekiro.
Sekiro. And then they're done. We could be seeing a second one of those. If we see Sekiro 2 before we see Bloodborne, that's me. I'm calling it quits. I think Bloodborne's dead then at that point.
Bloodborne is really cool. When it comes to the FromSoft games, the atmosphere in the world, I think Bloodborne is the coolest. It definitely has this H.P. Lovecraft, Elder Gods type of thing, but also the Souls thing.
It does. It looks, whenever I see Bloodborne, I'm like, it does just kind of look like another Souls game.
Yeah, I also am
an offshoot of Dark Souls.
I'm a huge fan of Castlevania, and that seems like a proper modern Castlevania game is Bloodborne without it being so crushingly difficult, even though Castlevania games
is that the easiest,
historically are difficult.
Is that probably the easiest Souls-like game that there is?
Bloodborne? No.
Yeah. What's the hardest one? Or the easiest one?
Demon Souls.
Really?
Yeah, even though it's hard.
Yeah.
I would say Demon Souls, the hardest one is Sekiro. Then Elden Ring, in my opinion. Dark Souls 3 is pretty easy. Dark Souls 2 is extremely hard, but because there's two versions of Dark Souls 2.
I want to love these games so bad, but every time I start up,
I know,
and I get 14 hours in, and I'm like, this is too hard. And these people are talking about stuff that I think I should know about, and I don't know anything about what they're talking about.
I like that aspect of it. They're like, hey, you want to know more?
I mean, to be fair, I ran into that with Space Marine 2. There was a lot of that. But that, for me anyways, that style of... I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
I was going to throw up. That style of like lore is a lot more interesting to me.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, just that more sort of, science fiction.
Yeah, that's more my speed than what they have for
me too.
Those games.
Me too.
What are you going to do?
Now, you said Twisted Metal might be a maybe.
Could be.
Because of the movie or the show.
They made the show, and the show
was
apparently
successful?
Wasn't terrible. Yeah, apparently
Season 2 coming?
I think so. Okay. They did pretty good job over
never
Peacock,
saw it.
Which I never thought would be a success. But
Twisted Metal is really cool. Now, I like Wipeout a lot, and Wipeout came to VR.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of ported it to VR.
Wipeout. I can't imagine playing that game in VR.
The last proper game was Wipeout HD on PS3.
Mm-hmm.
But then PS4 had a very big collection that grabbed the Fury expansion pack and a couple of the PSP tracks, put it all together. And that was the last time we saw Wipeout. I love Wipeout. That futuristic, sleek look of it was Studio Liverpool. They don't exist anymore.
Studio Liverpool.
I would really enjoy a Killzone for shooters. And so PlayStation has a lack of shooters. Obviously, they tried with Concord. Big failure. Giant failure.
That went well. was good for
maybe
them.
if you would have just made that the same guys,
I
probably
think-
could have made a good Socom game or Killzone game, something.
I read a quote that someone said that they wanted it to be their Star Wars,
yeah,
which is hilarious.
yeah, that was coming from the Colin Moriarty podcast, or whatever. It's called.
Yeah.
He's the one who dropped it. Also, a guy who's been heavily involved in PlayStation games and journalism forever.
Killzone would be cool. I've never played any of them, so I would be cool.
You never played any Killzone games?
No, they need to reboot the. Well, here's the thing. I didn't have a PlayStation. I was an Xbox kid growing up, so I didn't have a PlayStation
2?
Nope.
Or 3?
I had a 3 towards the very end.
Well, you should have played Killzone 2.
But you know who you're talking to. You said, "Hey James, play Fear 2," and I was like, "Are you sure about that?" I've never played Fear 1. And then I played Fear 2, and almost this crazy psychic lady throwing stuff at me, and I'm like, why don't we just hug her? And then I
that's different
give her
because
a child.
Killzone 1 came out for PS2. It's a lot. Fear 1 and Fear 2 are very close together,
right,
in terms of development, but Killzone 1 and 2 are miles apart.
If they rebooted that, I'd be all over it.
Yeah,
I'd love to play that game. But not even like I want them to reboot the entire franchise.
Yeah, me too.
Like do something else.
I think so too.
God of War style.
Yeah.
Not like
God of War,
but reboot style.
Yeah, reboot.
Yeah.
Not completely restart.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't need Killzone Soldier as a struggling to become a dad.
I think Killzone needs to stick with its World War II roots, because Killzone 1 and 2 and 3 are very inspired by WW2.
Well, that's what like Resistance is. Resistance is just World War II with aliens.
As well. Resistance, another shooter, is just a what if World War II was dominated by aliens.
Pretty much.
And they're stuck there. I think it is really cool.
Yeah. That game actually reminds me of Prey a little bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it does. It's a little more action hero than Prey, but yeah.
It also reminds me of Edge of Tomorrow.
Resistance was made by Insomniac.
Yeah, so they're not. That's not going to happen.
They're stuck in Marvel world.
Yeah, well, they're doing Wolverine. They got the other Spider-Man they probably have to do.
Siphon Filter could have been another shooter, but that is more of a spy thriller, almost like a
cool
Splinter Cell, but more 007-y.
Okay, dude, that's what we need. We need. I'm so angry. I'm moving my mic around. I want something like that. We need. We need a good shooter idea. Good stealth 007 style video game. We haven't gotten one of those in a long time.
I mean, Sony has these franchises, man. They could do a whole bunch with it, especially with all the talent they have.
Yeah.
And then the final shooter. What do you mean?
We are getting a 007 game. I keep forgetting about that.
What? Really?
Remember, the Hitman team is working on a 007 game.
I forgot. We always forget.
Yeah, I know. We saw that teaser trailer and then nothing since.
And there isn't a better studio to do it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So, sorry.
Sorry, Hitman Studios. What were they called? I don't remember.
I still think Sony could do something with Siphon Filter.
Yeah.
And also, the final shooter on this list would be MAG, which, in my opinion, this was Zipper Interactive, same guys who did SOCOM. MAG was a kind of an answer to Call of Duty, although it was way too big for its britches. It was like 150 people on one map.
Yeah.
Or maybe more. I think it was more than that.
Kill me.
And it wasn't like a Battlefield 1942 or 2042 style thing where there's just too many people. It was, the maps were cleverly designed to where they wouldn't all fit together. There's just not enough room for them. They were all kind of spread out, and the design was to kind of funnel you into these choke points, which there was like a tug of war thing going. And it was really good. I thought it was a really good game. The gameplay or the gunplay was average, but it was still interesting. They can do so much with MAG. Sony, extraction shooter, there's your MAG. There's your genre. You have it.
MAG is so... Did they call it... When did it come out? The
PS3, around Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2.
Did they call it MAG because they heard people calling Call of Duty COD?
Oh, probably. We'll
just make it MAG instead of... What was it? Something action
Massive action game. It was one of those things where you make a code name for the game you're developing, and it probably just stuck.
Oh, and then it just stuck? Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot. There's the other shooter, which is Warhawk, which is kind of like a Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront style game where you land, sea, air.
Oh, okay. I like that. That's
me too. Cool. There's plenty of room to make a good Warhawk game. So much stuff.
We need a Hawks game, is what we need. Pick up the Tom Clancy. Pick up the phone from your coffin and say, "Hey, we need Hawks 3.
Yeah.
I don't like Hawks though.
And in terms of racing, shoot, man, you got Motorstorm. I've been playing Motorstorm. Me and my son were playing it, and he was like, Odin asked if he could play a racing game where you race other people, but you have a monster truck and other people have little cars, so you can knock them off the road and stuff.
That's the most.
And I was like, I have that game, buddy. I was like, let's fire up my PS3. It's called Motorstorm.
That's the most 7-year-old question I've ever heard in my entire life.
And so we had fun playing Motorstorm.
Is that the one?
A lot harder than I remember, though.
Is that the one it's MX versus ATV Motorstorm, or am I thinking something else?
Motorstorm is a fully original game.
So Motorstorm is just what it's called.
Yeah, it's what it's called.
The subtitle.
The sequel was called Pacific Rift, and then the third one is called Evolution, or that's the studio, but
it's called Pacific Rift.
Yeah.
Why is it called that?
Because you're in like jungle area.
You're setting there's a rift in the racing world.
Yeah, and then the third one got into like futuristic stuff where like the world is ending. It's a bunch of earthquakes and stuff.
No, add it to the list. Stuntman games. We need the Stuntman games.
There you
back.
go.
Those games are awesome.
That'll be perfect for that. That's a Sony property, right?
I don't know.
believe so.
I think so.
Pretty sure.
Stuntman Ignition is awesome.
That'd be with the racing.
Yeah.
I think Jet Moto is really awesome. That's a PS1 game. Jet Moto 1, 2, and 3. Those games are really cool. That's a future. It's kind of like Wipeout, but if they were jet skis.
You want to know the difference between our generations?
What?
When you say Wipeout, I think of the show on ABC.
So bad.
And you think of the racing game.
I've
never played a Wipeout
Most people
game.
my age, when they think of Wipeout, they think of Beach Boys.
Oh. Wipeout.
Yeah.
That part of the Beach Boys song?
Is that a Beach Boys song?
It's... I think...
It's not Beach Boys, but...
It's close to it.
Yeah. What else? Oh, RPGs. Legend of Dragoon. One of the most beloved Sony dormant franchises ever. Everybody loves this game. I know it was Sony's answer to Final Fantasy, but it did a really good job. People played it. I don't know if it sold well. It did sell a whole bunch.
Wait, it was Sony's answer to Final Fantasy?
Yeah, they wanted to make their own Final Fantasy.
Don't they own?
Yeah,
so this game's
no,
never
they didn't own
back.
it. It was, but it was an exclusive. Yeah, it didn't come to regular Xbox or.
So this game's probably never coming. Back.
Chronicles came to GameCube, but that was a Square Enix property. Square. Yeah, and then the other one, Parasite Eve, is such an awesome Sony Resident Evil style game. But more RPG than Resident Evil.
But they have that now, so they don't need it.
What do they have?
They have Resident Evil. Don't they have
that's
exclusivity
Capcom.
to Resident Evil? I know,
not
but
at all.
Don't they have the marketing rights to Resident Evil?
Nope.
And the remasters and
I
whatnot?
played all my Resident Evil games in the last 15 years on Xboxes.
I know, but I'm saying when they're marketed, Resident Evil blank blanks 8, whatever.
Yeah.
It says at the very end, it says PlayStation or whatever.
Well, I think
it says at the end.
The only thing I can think of that is exclusive to PlayStation is the VR stuff on.
But that's why I think they have the marketing exclusivity rights. But it's not an exclusive. The marketing is.
I think Parasite Eve is a lot cooler anyways. I know that...
well, that's a hot take.
It is. I think Parasite Eve is awesome.
Cooler than...
Awesome female protagonist in New York. It's a very New York entrenched, cool shooter / RPG.
You know what I like more than Resident Evil? Dino Crisis.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that.
I'm joking.
That's Shinji Mikami.
I know. Isn't that... He made the original Resident Evil too, right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, I want to do Dino.
Yeah, I want to do Resident Evil with dinosaurs. Dude, that game is awesome.
Game directors or whatever, for the most part, they're like, we're sophisticated people. We love making games. Yeah. But in reality, they're like,
they're big nerds,
little kids. You know.
Yeah.
I want to make Dino game.
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil.
Like, I have the ability to do
shooter.
what I always wanted to do. I want to shoot raptors with the 9mm.
I want to make monster truck game where monster truck bigger than smaller cars.
Yeah, you run them over.
And I run them over.
In the case of Motorstorm, that is really it's an interesting idea. You have the tracks are very unique in Motorstorm. You have levels, actual levels to the track where the monster truck or the big rigs can't really get to. You can if you're really good, but it's risk. And then you have the smaller ones like the ATVs and the motorcycles that can go to different paths, like usually up higher. So the bigger ones are lower on the level and the smaller ones are higher. And it makes a really cool dynamic, especially when they crash into each other. It's fun.
One you didn't mention that if they did do a reboot, I would definitely play would be Infamous. I would play that.
Yeah, Infamous 1 and 2. I
never played any of them.
They're really good.
Yeah, I never played any of them because, again, I was too late to the party when it came to those.
Yeah.
and I was already playing other stuff. But if they redid that franchise, I would definitely be all
Man,
over
what
it.
is the protagonist's name? I always forget.
Todd.
Cole something.
Cole?
Yeah, he had really good powers. Like the idea of him being a conduit with electricity.
Yeah.
He can grab an air conditioner unit out of the back of a building and then get some health from that. It's really cool.
The way you described it did not sound cool.
So when
but
you're
I get what
climbing
saying.
the buildings, you're like, oh, stop by air conditioner
let me
unit
grab
or
the
a
AC.
telephone wire. Yeah.
Oh man,
Anything electrical.
If I was
cool.
living in that town, I'd be pissed if that guy was running around.
And the
It's
powers
middle
get
of
better.
summer.
It's a very cool game. It was a little bit like Xbox's superhero game. Remember that one?
Marvel versus Capcom.
No.
Oh.
It was their
Prototype?
Nope.
I hate
The
that game.
Prototype was a twin game.
Yeah. And that one did not do as well.
No, it was it came with a demo. Halo 3 demo came with this game.
What the heck are you talking
Everybody bought it because you got access to the Halo 3 multiplayer beta.
Oh.
I always forget what it's not Infamous House.
You just that's what we're talking about.
Whatever, but it's the Xbox version of that. It's similar. Anyways,
I don't know what you're referring to.
Yeah.
It's like an Xbox created superhero. It's not like one that's popular anywhere else.
Yeah. They tried to reboot it like 6 or 7 years ago and it was failed. I can't.
Like when the Xbox One was coming out?
Yeah, exactly. I can't remember.
Rise Son of Rome. No.
Whatever. Anyways.
Well, this is going to bother me now because I should know this.
Can you look it up?
Look it up.
Look up Xbox superhero game. It's
Google
great.
it.
Just say Halo 3 beta access Xbox game.
Welcome to the part of the show where James is Googling it.
And then Getaway, I forgot to mention, man, that would have been a good shooter, but whatever. Also action games like Heavenly Sword. That's a God of War type of clone.
That's a good name too.
Really cool character though. There's so much stuff you could have done.
Oh, Crackdown.
That's
what you're talking about. Yeah. Crackdown's great. I love Crackdown.
Yeah.
A little different. I would say that one's a little because it's.
But you still like run. You have a city. You're a superhero.
Yeah, I like. Crackdown.
Obviously, Infamous is 1,000 times better.
Do it. I forgot about that. And they got like Terry Crews to be the face model or whatever, and I think the voice actor.
Really?
Yeah, and it did not sell the way they wanted it to. I remember that game showing off like completely because of they were using like cloud servers in order to build a lot of the environments or whatever, and they were showing off like completely destructible environments, and then it didn't ship with that like at all.
Huh.
I remember that being a problem.
You're talking about the third one? Second one?
I think it was the one that was most recently came out.
Okay.
Like I think that was 4.
4? Oh, I don't
Either
know.
3 or 4. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a big failure.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Man, so I just want these are a million different franchises that Sony has that are just stuck on Sony. I love Sony properties. That's why I think what's that little robot game that I got? Astrobot is pretty
That's probably their
tugging. It is like does well with tugging on the strings of nostalgia because it has all these characters in it,
right?
That you can grab.
But it's also a good story by itself, even though it's tugging on.
Yeah, I know it is.
It's
a
the
good
heartstrings
game.
or whatever. There's plenty of other games that do that. Like there was one that just came out recently that did a lot of that stuff. That was similar to Astrobot. I don't know if it was PlayStation. I think it was.
I don't know. It was a mascot.
Yeah, and it was
Spyro. I don't know.
They need that. I want another Spyro game.
I also didn't mention all the hero mascotty platformers like
Spyro.
Yeah. Which I don't think is owned by Sony, but you got Sly Cooper, you got Jack. Yeah. What is it? Jack and Daxter. Mm-hmm. And then Ratchet and Clank, which it's still around. Yeah, and Ape Escape.
They should do another Sly Cooper game. Sly Cooper and Jack and Daxter.
You think so?
I would lean more Sly Cooper than Jack and Daxter.
You think Team Asobi could do? I think they could do a Sly Cooper.
I don't know who they do.
Astrobot. Yeah,
they could do it. But I think they hit on something with Astrobot. I think they're just going to keep making those games.
Sly Cooper is a stealth game too, by the way. You got to have that's not easy to do.
You're a raccoon, right?
Yeah.
Or a fox.
Devious Raccoonus.
Devious Raccoonus. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And he's got his S-blade. And it just looks like a Stuzy S.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I think he's a cool character.
I like him too. I like Sly Cooper. I think those games are fun. But,
and also, you know what else they can do is they can bring back They can bring back these franchises in an emulated sort of way.
Yeah. Which is what
especially Killzone, for God's sake. Killzone 2 and 3 are completely fine. Just give me 60 frames and higher resolution.
What they should do is if you're releasing the PS5 Pro PlayStation 1 edition,
they should
is release that with an emulator for PlayStation 1 games or something like it.
And the funny thing is,
stupid.
I don't like hearing that. Oh, well, they can't do it because the cell processor and the PS3. Bull crap. I have a PS3 emulator on my computer.
Right.
I can run Metal Gear Solid 4 better than Metal Gear Solid 4 on my PlayStation 3.
If it can be done by other people that are doing it independently, there's no excuse for Sony to not be able to do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's a big lie.
Yeah, I'm playing the Insurgency. Probably not going to be available any longer, but the Insurgency Star Wars mod.
Yeah.
Which makes me want Star Wars to do a very serious multiplayer shooter.
Are you're a stormtrooper running around?
Yeah,
and it automatically gives
Rebellion.
It automatically gives you really bad aim if you're a Star Trooper.
If you hold down, it's like Insurgency. If you fire it without being accurate, it starts to get wild. Okay. So it's a perfect game to mod a Star Wars game into.
They should make it so that
the recoil is ridiculous. So if you're a stormtrooper laying down lasers, like, it goes everywhere.
They should make it like stormtroopers can only shoot from the hip, and the rebels can ADS and everything. Because that's how it is.
It's not a bad idea.
That's how it is in the movies. For whatever reason,
dude, you can do so much stuff. James, you should be a modder.
A game director. Oh, mod. Yeah, right.
Do it for free.
If I was, dude, those guys, honestly, respect to those people, because you're asking me to do something like that for free on my own time. I'm like, I'll do something else.
There's a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of people like to do. I mean, I was painting the other day for free. I never do that anymore.
And you were doing it yesterday or the other day.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's a joyous activity, though. It's different for me.
No, some people want to mod for fun.
Like that. Yeah. But I'm saying you're telling me to be. That would not be.
It's hard for me to paint by myself without someone paying me. It
really?
is. Yeah.
Dude, you do it for the love of the game.
No, I know, but I
don't.
A lot of artists and painters, they get frustrated with their stuff.
Yeah.
And then they quit. But if it just always happens. But if someone was paying me to do a portrait, then I would get frustrated. But I'd be like, hey, this is my job, though.
Yeah.
I just do it.
And then you say.
Compared to the other day, I was doing a portrait and it sucked, and I was like, I'd rather draw a crow.
And then
I started drawing crows.
He drew a crow. And you have autism. No, I'm just kidding.
Hello, autism.
So yeah, that's PlayStation. They're direct. It's already happening. We could have predicted something right here. We didn't even know it.
Guess what?
Chicken butt.
No, out of all these that would come back, let's assume
Bloodborne.
Let's assume Sony wants a remaster or something.
A remaster?
Yeah, because they're on a remaster kick for the last 10 years. I'm assuming they would remaster nothing online multiplayer.
No,
because they're too lazy to do that. It would probably be Twisted Metal Black.
I would say
famous
they would
PS2
do.
Game.
And this is hard. I'm thinking like Bulletstorm.
Yeah, but that's not.
It's not. No. That's the first
Bulletstorm
thing that
has also
came to my
been remastered like a few times.
Yeah, they put that on VR too. Apparently, it's pretty good.
Terrible.
Oh
no, terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I don't know which one of these they would probably remaster. I would say the
Resistance trilogy.
Unfortunately, I'd probably say Bloodborne because they already did Demon Souls.
But yeah, it would probably be the most. It would make the most sense in terms of financial
gain.
Yeah,
they would make a ton of money from
audience and stuff.
But then they don't talk about Bloodborne 2 at all.
But if they would have, it's already late. It's late. You're like It's not late right now, but it'll be late a year from now.
Yeah, I don't know. That one to me is something that Sony would do. Would be a Bloodborne remaster, but then they don't say anything about Bloodborne 2. It's just the remaster for Bloodborne. People would love it.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's like you're kind of just you're giving like sunflower seeds to a group of people that want steak.
$400 million to Concord when you could have taken $100 million out of that pile 4 times and given it to Killzone 2 or Killzone 3 remaster or both of them. You could have given it to a Bloodborne remaster. Yeah. You could have given it to modders for a Bloodborne remaster. They would have done it.
But the thing is,
a Socom. For $100 million, you can make a good SOCOM game.
I don't know how successful. I mean, it already failed, Concord. So you're playing with something that already failed. If you're assuming that situation,
Man, I can't wait till I not talk about Concord ever again.
I will say though, I don't know how popular Killzone remaster, Resistance remaster.
Oh, it would be.
I don't know.
Any type of shooter, maybe not Resistance. Because
I mean,
that's a little bit more. I don't know. It's a little bit more. I don't know what to say.
World War II-esque?
I don't know.
First person?
Acquired taste.
Okay.
It's just more. Not a lot of people are into alternate history aliens, but Killzone is just straight up sci-fi. You like sci-fi? You like shooting? There you go.
Are they going to do the multiplayer or not?
No, I mean I would hope so, but no, they would just do the campaign remasters. If you did a 2 and 3 remaster of the campaigns, I think it would be popular.
I think they would have done it already if they were expecting it to be popular.
No, I don't think they have no clue.
No.
I think
I think
it's obvious that they have no clue about who their audience is or how to tap into the audience that's already there. What Sony's trying to do constantly, it seems like a lot of people are doing this, they're trying to somehow expand on the audience, thinking their audience is not gonna leave. But their audience is leaving. Concord is not for anybody. It's literally not for anybody. You try to make a game for everybody, and you made a game for nobody. For 400 people. Wait, we're the
not a lot. Sub 10,000. Wait, less than 10,000.
Yeah, 80 million people in your bubble.
I think Concord was for people, but it was for people 10 years too late.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Killzone is 20 years old now. 15 years old.
Well, it's a competent shooter that is kind of. I don't know. It's not unlike Warhammer. It's not unlike that, and that seems to be hitting.
The difference is, though, that's a sequel to a universe on an ever-expanding world that is also kind of feels like something that's the beginning of something that they could expand on in the future. So they could make another... I think that Space Marine 2 is such a hit right now that they're going to make not just Space Marine 3, which I'm sure is already in the works, but another Warhammer 40K version of a game.
But Warhammer, that's been happening. I mean, Warhammer games, there's like 4 of them that come out a year for the last 15 years.
Right. But nobody, but
it was a very niche game.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is,
franchise.
I do think that I think that we just saw an example of it. They like to lean on the nostalgism of people. Like showing off the PS5 Pro with the PS1 looks of it.
But not the software side.
But that's why they keep releasing all the stupid Last of Us remasters.
I don't think that's with nostalgia. I think that's just because it's easy. Because they have a plan and their plans are falling through. So they're like, let's back up. We can do a remaster of Last of Us Part 2 Remastered 4.
But because they know it's going to sell. Because people they're nostalgic for it. They're like, we want...
No, I don't think they're nostalgic for it. I think they're driven by a technology upgrade.
You want to know? I think what happened. I think instead of all of these games, you know what they would remaster?
What?
Uncharted 1.
Oh gosh,
that's what they would do.
I mean, that wouldn't.
They would be like Uncharted 1 remaster coming to the PlayStation 5.
I don't go to Uncharted for another 10 years
because it's another. I think a lot of that audience, the audience that they're looking for, is one that's a mix of those, like the people that played Killzone, and a mix of the people that played,
I'm telling you, Killzone was a huge hit, and those guys have gone on to have kids and play on a PC like an adult.
Right. But if you're PlayStation and you just heard that, then like, well, we're not going to remaster that because you don't own a PlayStation 5.
Sony needs a shooter in their lineup. They tried one, failed. They need a shooter. They need a multiplayer shooter.
But they're not going to remaster Killzone with the multiplayer.
Don't make another game. Make it Killzone. You have a free franchise. Do what you did with God of War.
They just did.
What?
With Concord.
No, I'm talking Concord and Killzone are so far apart from what
they're
people
shooters,
want.
Is what I mean. They're shooters.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Sony was like, we need a shooter, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, they know. Yeah. So they developed a game nobody wanted.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Because their finger is so far from the pulse of what their audience wants, what gamers want. Gamers would attach to a Killzone franchise more than a Concord. I'm not even. I mean, make something original. Do something.
Yeah.
Guerrilla, make another shooter.
Right,
You don't have to do.
You do.
Have Guerrilla do it.
You need Horizon. We need Horizon. Please finish off the story there. Thank you.
Yeah, and then the next Horizon game will come out
Remaster
with
of the first one.
with another Zelda-like or Elden Ring-like game that hits at the same time where nobody cares about Horizon because they have another third-person action game that's better.
It's good enough that they made the second one. So
it did terrible.
Yeah, but they're making the third one. They already announced it.
Yeah.
It's coming.
They announced that before the second one came out.
What I will say, though, is I think they're very good. They have their fingers on the pulse of a very specific idea.
Who?
Third-person action game. They know what they're doing. They know
Sony.
exactly what... Yes, they know exactly what they want out of that. Third-person, story-driven action game. They're like, yeah, we can nail this. We know exactly what to make. We know we can do future version. We can do old-style version. We can do post-apocalyptic version. We can do whatever.
You talking about Guerrilla or Sony?
Sony, all of them.
Yeah,
they're like,
they do that. They can do that, but they keep... What are they doing with Last of Us?
Oh, they just
stuck
keep
on it. What are they doing with Horizon? They're stuck. I mean, Horizon 3 is going to be exactly like Horizon 2. It's nothing different.
Okay, but... Yes, but then they just go, oh, we'll just make Ghost of Tsushima 2.
Yeah.
Which they're going to make, and it's hopefully going to be amazing. Because the first one was amazing. Good. And then God of War 3, the next God of War game.
That's Sucker Punch. Those are the guys who do Thievius Raccoonus.
Yeah. So they're not going to do that anytime soon. They're like, we're going to make something new. or newer. Like,
isn't that funny that the guys who did Sly Cooper were like, we're going to do a feudal Japan, historically accurate somewhat, or at least try to be. And then everybody in Japan were like, shh, you hit it out of the park, dude.
Yeah, you nailed it. Which is great because, honestly, they hit it at a good time, too, because there hadn't been a real feudal Japan third-person action game in a long time, at the very least.
Yeah. I like the samurai games, the way they're called, like Samurai, the story.
Samurai.
Something.
That's what it's called.
I always forget what they're called.
They also need to lean into their...
a lot of branching paths and stuff.
I also think that something we're kind of underestimating here is they had like the exclusivity rights or the partial exclusivity rights to Destiny for a long time.
Oh, that's right.
I think that was a huge thing for them.
They have Bungie. Hey, Bungie.
Yeah, Bungie. Yeah.
Oh, man, they forgot they have Bungie. Bungie's going to do a marathon game that is an extraction shooter.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Man,
that'd be funny. That'd be funny if Bungie pivoted to making Mag.
Bungie left Halo and they made very successful Destiny two Destiny games.
Got stuck on Destiny 2 for way too long.
Right, and now they're kind of searching around in the dark a little bit, looking for their next thing, which every developer does. But Halo's also kind of in a precarious situation with that sense. So they both are kind of looking around in the dark. What if they found each other again?
Halo and Bungie?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I would cry. I would cry on
By
this
the way,
podcast.
Speaking of Bungie, I did play a game that one of the only Bungie games that I never really replayed ever, and that was ODST.
Oh, ODST's so good.
I forgot.
Oh my god,
how different that is, because that's an expansion game to Halo 3.
You're an ODST detective,
which is
awesome.
Takes place at an event after Halo 2
in the streets of New Mombasa. Yeah, and then the music is so.
Oh man, that's probably Marty O'Donnell's best work besides the legendary Halo theme.
It's the best. ODST is one of my favorite Halo games, but nobody talks about it enough.
Yeah, ODST is straight up.
Game's awesome.
What is ODST an acronym for?
Orbital Drop. It's either Drop Ship Trooper or Drop Shock Trooper. I always mix it up.
Shock Trooper, probably.
I think it's Shock Trooper.
It's usually in the front lines.
Yeah, that game rocks. I love ODST.
Yeah, and I do like that you play as different perspectives or different characters. POVs.
Yeah. You're piecing the story together as the rookie, as the other characters. It's awesome. I love ODST.
And I totally forgot about it. I wanted to play some Halo 3 multiplayer, so I launched Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
And I played Halo 3 and I just got stomped. By the way, Halo Infinite incorporates mouse and keyboard play really well. The Master Chief Collection also has mouse and keyboard play, but you're at a huge disadvantage. There's no aim assist whatsoever. There's no reticle slow moving when you get to somebody, and so people don't miss on controller, especially
game was-
nowadays.
That game was. I mean, I'm surprised that it's actually in a working function today because
Yeah, I
that
know.
game was a disaster.
By the way, it's not
For a long
quite
time.
in working condition.
Yeah.
I ran into a ton of bugs, not in the game, but in the menu launching the game and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on? I crashed a couple times trying to launch ODST,
Yeah.
the first level.
It's a disaster.
I was playing a custom game because I just wanted to get my keyboard bindings correct.
Right.
And they weren't working. I was using Q to change my primary to my secondary, and it just wasn't working. So I used the mouse wheel, and it wasn't working. And even though the game said press Q, you need to press Q, it wasn't working. So I just turned on my controller, and I'd play with the mouse and keyboard, then I hit Y on the controller to swap weapons.
Oh my god, Jesus!
It's a mess still, but
Yeah.
it's a huge package for sure.
But it's the best. If you're getting an Xbox, that's the first game I tell people to get. Master
yeah,
Chief
and
Collection.
play ODST, man. I would love to
ODST 's
play.
awesome.
That was great. It's a co-op game, isn't it?
It doesn't work as well as a co-op game.
Okay.
Because it's better as a rookie solo detective, like kind of detective game as a solo.
I love the night vision in that game.
It's awesome.
It kind of highlights the edges
Yeah.
of the map. Or
It's not like
whatever
real
you're
night
seeing.
vision.
It's not real night vision, but it does highlight lines and stuff. It's really cool,
awesome.
slick design.
And it's so like it's almost spooky and like kind of eerie because you're going through the streets of Nimbasa at night.
So, yeah, it's after one of the Truth and Reconciliation.
That's the first game. That's I can't remember the name of the
You're right. Whatever the Covenant
Prophet's ship is.
prophet ship is,
Yeah.
it lands on Earth on accident. It's really just chasing something.
Yeah.
And then it leaves because it's like, oh crap, we didn't mean to find it, but we found it.
Yeah.
But we need to get out of here. And when it leaves, it does a orbital whatever thing right above the city.
Yeah.
And so the city gets destroyed.
Rips it apart. I think the reason people don't think of that game
Really
very much
cool.
is because one, it wasn't marketed very well because it was
It was
not-
supposed to be DLC, but
right. It was after Halo 3,
Yeah.
and everybody was like, "Is this like a full game or is this a DLC for Halo 3?"
it was sold as a full game, but it wasn't quite.
Yeah, and then to finish it off too, Reach came out not long after,
Yeah.
and everybody loved Reach. So people kind of just forget about ODST, but ODST bangs, man, it's so good. Halo talk. Hey, guess what? It's
Welcome to Halo Talk.
We've hit our 100% mark on Halo talk for the podcast.
We haven't talked about Halo in
I
a
love
while.
Halo. God, I love Halo. I want to go play ODST now.
I like Marathon too. Like the old Apple games are basically Doom clones, but they're still really good.
Is that what? So are they remaking Marathon from the old school version?
I think
or
it's a
are they
sequel,
just-
dude.
Oh man, what a weird! That's such a weird game to have as a sequel.
Marathon.
It's like Beetlejuice coming out with a sequel.
Marathon is connected to Halo lore wise,
Yeah,
somewhat.
yeah.
Just
true.
like Destiny possibly
Is
could
kind of
be
connected with
to
Halo. Yeah, that's a weird one. They well in ODST they that was one of the things they were teasing Destiny in.
Oh, you're right.
On like the posters and stuff.
Yeah.
They had the whatever the big thing is called in Destiny, the big ball thing
The
above
ball
Earth.
thing. I can't remember what it's called.
It was on posters and stuff. I remember that.
The something.
Yeah.
The
Oracle.
Not
Yeah,
Oracle.
the light thing. I don't care.
Whatever.
Destiny
Destiny sucks.
I like Destiny, but it's one of those things where I'm like, this
Just
feels like
joking.
half of a game.
I love the multiplayer in that game. It's just I went to go play it the other day, and there's very little amounts of people in that game.
Really?
It took me for a regular Crucible match.
Mm-hmm.
Took me like 15 minutes to find a match.
I mean, they're not are they supporting it anymore?
Yeah, the last light or whatever, the final light just
that's
came
right.
out
I forgot
like a month
about
ago.
that. Yeah. I forgot
There's
about
new
that.
maps. There's a whole bunch of new stuff.
Man,
Yeah, I can barely find it.
yikes.
It was an Iron Banner match too, so which is more popular. It comes every month or something, every couple months.
Weird. Hey, let's move on. That's the news.
Yeah.
I kind of ranted a little bit about the PlayStation 5, PS1. That's all. I don't care. I mean, buy it if you want, but still, you're the reason why. Know
You're
that.
the reason why.
You're the reason why they're getting away with this.
There's not that many people.
I mean, it's going to sell well, though.
I think the PS5 Pro will sell well too. I just don't think.
you're right.
It's not for people who want more bang for their buck. It's not. It's for people who want who can spend $700 for a small upgrade.
Yes, but
I was playing Crisis. Oh, I'll get to that later. I'll get to it
Crisis.
later. Yeah.
I agree, but the overwhelming consensus was this doesn't make any sense. that you're asking for this price for this small of an upgrade. And the only thing they needed to change was to make it look like the PS1. And then everybody was
maybe
like,
it's something we don't know. Maybe when Nintendo launches their Switch number 2, whatever they're going to call it,
the Switch
and they go, it's $650 or what?
No. If
and then Switch, if Xbox goes, well, we're launching our new thing and it's $650, $700. Maybe
mark
Sony
my
was onto
words
something
right now. Okay, remember this, podcast listeners. If the Switch comes out, Switch 2, whatever the sequel is called, if the Switch comes out, Switch 2 comes out, and it's over $600, I will pee in a cup and drink part of it right here. I'm not joking about that.
Pee in a cup and what?
I will pee in a cup on this podcast and drink some of it.
Okay.
Swear to God.
Man.
If it's over $600, I will do that. Swear to
yes,
God.
that's
Swear
possible.
God,
That's not a bad bet, dude. That's possible.
I will piss in a cup and drink it.
Have you ever drank your own piss?
No.
It's delicious.
I'm gonna water up beforehand. Make it nice and clear.
No.
Of course, that's
do not water up.
No, I'm just drinking piss. I don't want it to look like apple
bright
juice.
Yellow.
No,
I don't want it to look like water.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I will do that. If they do it over there's no. Has Nintendo sold anything that's over $600 ever?
Can I tell you a story real quick about peeing in a cup?
Sure. After this from our spot. No, I'm just
yeah. I had to pee in a cup for a job, and I was going to pass. I wasn't afraid of passing or not passing, but I was afraid of having shyness, right?
Pee shyness?
So, and it was in a line, because I went there the day before, and they were like, it's too busy. This is Sacramento, California. It's not like here. Come back tomorrow. Okay. But I went there and I was like, wow, there's a lot of people. I don't want to be rushed to do this. So I drank a lot of water, right before, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours before. Right. So I wanted to be able to have to pee right when I get there. So I'm drinking a lot of water and I'm peeing a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And so I go there and I do my business, and my employer the next week goes, you need to go back. I was like, why? I peed in the cup. Yeah. And they're like, and the doctor was like, this is practically water. He's like, I can't even test what's in your system because it's 99.9% water.
That's so funny. Your kidney and liver was basically just filtering nothing out.
Honestly, you might be in danger of being really sick. You might have drank too much water.
Of overhydration.
Yeah. And I was like, I did it because I was nervous.
That's awesome. I've never had to do that.
Yeah.
I want to try that one day. I should just take the test for fun.
He actually explained to me, he was like, your bladder, you have your toxins in your body in your bladder.
Yeah.
And your water goes in and your toxins drip out every once in a while. You can actually fill it with water before your toxins ever drip out whatever it needs to. And then you can just pee out water.
So I'll do that.
It's also in the movie Waterworld, the greatest Kevin Costner movie ever made.
God, dude. Let's move on. Games coming this week. You've seen Dances with Wolves and you think Waterworld's the best movie. That's
Dances with Wolves is it's good. It's not that good, but
you need to watch it now. That's what you need to do.
No, I can't.
No, you need to watch it now because now you live in the Great Plains and he's talking about this area.
Yeah.
I think you'll get a greater appreciation for that movie now.
Nah.
I hate you.
Nope.
It's like how I don't like Waterworld because I don't live on the coast.
I love Waterworld.
Hate that movie.
It's like a theme park in a movie.
It literally is a theme park.
I know.
The Waterworld Stunt Show still exists.
Really?
Yes, they still do that
Universal?
show. Yes.
Somehow. I want to go.
They need to make. By the way, they need to make that a Mad Max. They need to make that a Mad Max stunt show.
You just have cars run into each other.
Yes, easy. Just fill it all with sand.
And everybody in the audience, instead of getting wet, they just get like shrapnel in their face.
Awesome. That'd be sick. Or gasoline. All over them. All right, games coming out this week. That was the news. Not a lot going on, but games coming this week. Some big ones, ladies and gentlemen. One huge one, and this is the huge one. Disney Epic Mickey rebrushed.
Oh God, it's a Wii game.
This is a remaster, and it's actually coming on Xbox. It's coming to the Xbox, PS5, Switch, obviously, and PC. I didn't think they would put that on the Xbox game or on the Microsoft consoles or the Sony consoles because I thought it was just going to be a Nintendo thing.
You need like a wand, right? This was a Wii game.
Yes. The Mickey game was a Wii game.
Wii game.
Yeah, because you're painting or whatever.
Whatever, it's cool. There is Maniac Mansion was one of my favorite Genesis games, and that was Maniac Mansion?
Luigi.
No, not Luigi.
Oh, sorry.
It's a Nintendo. No, they was like some sort of haunted mansion Disney game on Genesis. It was actually good. Mickey Mansion.
Oh, Mickey's Haunted Mansion?
Something like that.
I just guessed that. I don't know. This game actually looks... it doesn't look very cool, but like...
Nope.
I mean, that's a very interesting idea from Disney to be able to say, hey, we're going to... Like, that's a very Nintendo-like idea. I'm surprised Nintendo didn't come up with something like that when they were doing the Wii.
Disney has a lot of other franchises, too, that could be made into great games. Like they used to make great games. They used to license their games to, like, Konami and Capcom.
Marvel's Capcom.
Huge game. And...
well, I guess that wasn't Disney then, was it? That was Marvel.
I think Capcom did the DuckTales game, which was great.
What's the...
Or Konami.
What's the stupid... they released the hero thing for... and there were little figures. And everybody was trying to get into the stupid figure game for some reason.
Jeez, what did they call it?
I don't remember, but it was a bomb.
Man, my little nephew had a whole bunch of them.
Yes.
I was like, let's play this. Oh, this is cool. You have your little action figure. You put them on this platform thing that hooks up to your PS3.
Yeah.
Oh, battle. It almost got to me. But I was like, let's play it. And we played it. It was full of glitches and it was terrible.
It was the bane of my existence when I was working at GameStop because people would come in with the figures and you'd have to figure out who they were and then price for them. It was the worst. And then they would just be sitting around.
How was working at GameStop? This guy used to work at GameStop.
You know, I mean, it was fine. I never had any real issues with it.
Dude, I used to go to a GameStop. It was fun.
I met a lot of cool people.
On Market Street in San Francisco a lot. And it was before it was on Market Street, it was on Powell, which wasn't very far away. Mm-hmm. And holy jeez, it was an adventure every time I go in there.
Fun fact, I met our very own Steven Treffler when I was working at GameStop.
Oh, cool.
And he wanted to give me a job at, this won't make any sense to you, NSI or you, which is like the...
Yeah, I know. I know what it is.
Yeah. And I was going to be working on printers. And I didn't get the job.
Cool.
But then I worked here.
Wow.
And then he worked here.
He recruited you from GameStop?
Yeah, which was weird. Yeah. I don't know.
Who does that?
I know. I guess I look like a tech guy to work on printers. Also, Shadows of Doubt. This game looks really cool.
Is it? Okay, tell me what kind of game this is.
It's a pixelated...
You're really?
Neo-noir...
Yes.
Mystery, like
Is it a side scroller?
No, I believe it's a third person.
Pixels?
Yeah, it's like pixelated third person. Looks really cool.
Zelda?
It looks like the game that I made the stupid video for that I never finished.
Oh, everybody doesn't want to die.
Nobody wants to die.
Nobody wants to die.
Yeah, it looks like that,
but pixels.
Pixelated. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks really cool.
Does it have a noir theme to it?
Yes, very, very much. You're a detective.
Okay.
And you're solving a mystery. It came to PC first, and this is the console release for this game. Apparently, it was one of the best PC games last year.
Really?
To a couple places.
Okay, I'm definitely. It's on my radar.
Look it up. Shadows of Doubt.
Okay. Looking for new games too.
Biggest game, maybe the biggest game in Nintendo this year. Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. That's coming out this week, 26th to September 26th.
Yeah, you can make chairs and stack them on top of each other.
Stack them up. Get Korok seeds. I don't know if that's in that game.
This looks like the worst Zelda game I've ever seen.
How dare you? I'm just kidding. I don't know.
And it's like finally it's a Zelda game that you play as Zelda, and it looks awful.
And it's going to sell gangbusters.
It looks like A Link to the Past, but with a stupid gimmick.
It's going to sell gangbusters.
Of course, people.
It's
Nintendo,
Zelda. Yeah, that's all they need to do.
What else are they going to play?
Yeah, true. Good point. Not EA Sports FC 25 on the Switch. Nobody's going to play that on the Switch, even though that's coming out.
Oh,
this
it's coming on the Switch.
The 27th. This will be a big game. Always is a big game. It's going to make EA an ungodly amount of money.
Hey, remember when FIFA said they were going to make their own game? They're going to license their FIFA game to somebody else and not EA? That has never come to fruition.
They licensed it. This is me speaking out of turn here. I believe they licensed it to 2K.
Oh, really?
I think so.
2K? Yeah. So there's eFootball, which I think that's Konami, but that's a great idea. It's a free to play yearly
update that you pay for the update.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how all of them should be, to be honest with you.
It's a great idea. And apparently it's really good.
So EA Sports FC 25, just FIFA. It's FIFA 25, ladies and gentlemen. That's all it is. So that's coming out, and they're still making that for the PS4 and Xbox One and the Switch somehow.
Remember when people were like, "Oh, this is going to"? I think FIFA were saying this.
Yeah,
people want the FIFA brand.
No, they don't.
Like, no, they don't.
Hey, FIFA, guess what? you're maybe the least important grouping of anything that comes when it comes to professional soccer of any kind. No one, actually, I'll be honest with you, no one wants you.
Yeah.
If we could have a different organization work on anything football related, I think everybody would be very happy about that.
EA Sports FC, so it's EAFC.
Yeah.
EA has UFC, EA UFC.
Oh, true. I didn't think about that.
EA has college football, EA CFB.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, that's
they're
true.
still
Why do they
somehow
do that?
selling all these.
Yeah. And then also, that was the other thing too, when FIFA was like, you're going to lose the FIFA and everybody's going to hate it.
Yeah, right.
But I guess they didn't realize that literally 10 years before that, well, less than actually, probably 5 years before that, they lost the license to like Juventus, which is one of the biggest Italian clubs in the country or in the world. And then what FIFA did was they just renamed it and gave them similar colors and everybody knew who they were talking about.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
I like competitive
Shut up, FIFA.
soccer games online.
So do I. FIFA is...
I can
EAFC.
definitely watch two players play that game.
Yeah.
A lot easier than two Madden players. This is you just see cheesing all the time.
EAFC is one of the funner sports games to watch professionals play because they know so much of what they're doing with like the stick movement and everything like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What they're able to do. It's awesome. I like EFC. I'm not good enough to play it online very much, though. I'm not good enough at that game. Okay, that's what's coming out this week.
Yay.
Grant, what are you playing, dog?
We got 10 minutes?
We've got, about 10 minutes, I would say.
All right.
That's usually about what
All
we're
right,
at
so
this
I was
point.
playing Motor Storm. I already talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Got into the PS3, and I was like, hey, man, let's fire up some PS3 games. I would love to play some dormant PS3 games that no longer work. I like MAG, but you can't do that anymore. So I played Killzone 2. I love that campaign. It's so good. Man, that game, the graphics in that game, the amount of stuff inside Killzone 2 going on in the background is crazy. Go look at what is it? Horizon Zero Dawn and shoot things that are on the ground, stuff like that. It's all static. Now play Killzone 2 and go into a room and shoot things. Everything breaks. It gets holes. You can put holes in everything. Everything's dynamic. The lighting in that game is crazy.
Bad Company did that too.
Yeah, true.
Early on.
One of the things that Killzone 2 does really well in terms of its multiplayer, there's also bots, which is fun. They add atmosphere over everything. It's atmosphere and storytelling over everything. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't make for great balance in a multiplayer shooter, but there are dark corners where it's hard to see. You need to shoot or have a flashlight, or if you throw a grenade, you can see it flash. There's lightning going on in the game that will flash and create light everywhere. There's wind, heavy wind in the game that will change the trajectory of a grenade. It's all kinds of cool stuff in that. I don't know. Killzone 2 is a fantastic game. And so I was like, yeah, let's play some Killzone 2. And I'm into other shooters. Fired up Crysis on PS5, which is the PS4 version. Holy jeez.
They made the remaster, though, didn't they?
Yes.
Is that what
Crysis
it is?
Remaster.
Oh, okay.
It's the Crysis Remaster Collection. I don't know if it's a remaster. It's just a port of the PS3 and Xbox 360 games.
Well, they made the remaster version.
Yeah.
You got to play that.
No, I did.
No, they made a remastered version for the collection.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It came out for PS4 and Xbox One.
Wow, I can't believe it was... Okay.
Yeah, and it runs on PS5
X.
at a higher frame rate and everything than the PS4, but it looks awful. So then I turned it on the Xbox Series X. My God, it looks so much better. It runs at ray tracing. Mm-hmm. It's like a gimped version of ray tracing.
I was gonna say it still doesn't run well because that game was not made for that game was made for 22nd century consoles.
There's some CPU side stuff on the original Crysis that is funky when it comes to consoles. But it's still fun. The Xbox version is 1,000 times better than the PS5 version. 1,000 times. So I was playing that. I love Crysis.
I actually don't love those games, but
I know Crysis 2 is probably holds up better.
That's the one that I like the most.
But Crysis 1, there's something about Crysis 1 that has this weird Predator vibe.
It reminds yes.
It's got this. Crysis 2 and 3 does this too, where they give you options to go about going from A to B in different ways. Yeah. Crysis 1 is more it does that, but it doesn't tell you that it's doing that. So it'll drop you off. It says go to point A and you're at point B. So go back to point A. But in between, there's like a cornfield or something, and there's a base. Go through there, and it makes you think that you have to go clear the base. You don't have to.
No, you can go around
do
it.
whatever you want. It's very open ended in Crysis. It's really unique and cool.
It reminds me of the first Far Cry game.
There's a lot of times when you're playing Crysis, you can just run.
Yeah,
and it's fun. You have abilities. You have armor. You have strength. You have cloaking.
Yeah,
and then you have speed. You barely ever use the speed except for when you want to leave or get away or hide. But you can just go through the mission. Just the level design is set for you to just run through it, and it's fun.
Reminds me of the first Far Cry game more than anything.
Exactly, it's made by the same people.
Really?
Yeah, Far Cry, Crysis, Crytek.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, Far Crysis. Oh my god.
Yeah, Crytek. Their first game was Far Cry.
Hey, I like the first Far Cry. I remember hating the second Far Cry because it had nothing to do with the first one. I was like, I want to have the predator vision and whatnot and be super fast. And then in the second one, you're fighting a militia war.
Yeah, and Far Cry had the same situation where there's big giant levels that doesn't direct. Hey, go do your thing. Wow,
that makes a lot of sense that they're made by this. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, those games are basically the exact same thing.
I think Crysis 4 was announced. I'm excited to play that game. They got it. They got to button up the bugs and stuff because every time they release it for console, it's always buggy.
Yes.
All right. So, and the next game is Riders Republic. Tried that game out. Man, that game sucks.
Oh, Ubisoft, I like that game.
What is going on with you?
I like that game. I enjoy that game.
Why?
It's an easy game to just throw on and just shut your brain off. Go to the tallest hill. Go down with your bike. And then hit a cool ramp, and then get into your squirrel suit and go.
Yeah. Steep is way better.
I don't like
Steep is a better version of this.
Yeah, I'm. So you're a steep guy. I'm a Riders Republic
guy. I'm not even
guy.
much of a steep guy, but the snowboarding, the squirrel suit, and the fun factor, like the playground or open worldness of it, is better in steep. I think. Riders Republic. I played it for an hour, and I was like, "Wait, this is not for me."
I loved it.
Maybe my kid would like it.
Loved is the strong word, not the right word.
Valorant, of course. Valorant's still really... I went back into Valorant, try to get that new character. For some stupid reason, you have to unlock the character using XP right now, but in 3 more days from now, you can buy him with real money, or you can, if you're a Game Pass subscriber,
you have it automatically.
You have them automatically, but not yet. I don't know.
Yeah, in a couple days. It doesn't make any sense. That feels backwards.
I know. But all I want to do is play this new character. I was like, whatever. I can't. I have to play him in deathmatch, but it's
I'll
not
play him
that
in
fun.
3 days.
All right, and then in my opinion, is the best extraction shooter in the world is Hunt Showdown, and they have this new and improved version of Hunt Showdown, 1896 or 1886. And I think it's fantastic. It's really good. Probably the best sound in video games right now. Best sound design. Really unique sound design.
Better than Hellblade? I think Hellblade's got really good sound.
Hellblade is great, but it's more cinematic movie feeling. This is more in terms of like a multiplayer. Well, who's that? I was waiting for somebody to come around a corner, and I heard his boy, because I was solo queuing and usually play with up to 3 people. His boy jingled some chains behind me. I was like, oh, they're coming that way. So I left my position and went to go get him, and no one was there. And someone came where I was and kind of pinched me in, like came at me and shot me. And on my dead body, they mentioned that they got me. They're like, hey, it worked. You were in the right position. We got you. We jingled some chains over here to let you move, and we came and flanked you. I don't know. It's really cool, and it's because of the sound is so cool, and the crows and everything that you go near, everything you see, every zombie or whatever NPC thing that you see, it gives off some sort of sound cue to someone else. It's really cool. And the gunshots from really far away actually sound like the distance they should be. Oh,
so it's like you see the flash and then the thwack if you're far away?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Shout out Hunt Showdown. I'm playing...
Yeah.
Not a lot, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, not a lot. I'm on a college football kick right now because it's the middle of college football season. I've been looking to get into another story game because I've been missing it a little bit. Want to get into some story games. I haven't played.
Nobody wants to die.
I know, I gotta finish it. I've gotten really bad about not finishing games, I'll be honest with you. And it makes me angry.
It's not your fault. It's the game's fault. If it was, I'm really bad at it too, but for some reason, Space Marine 2, I didn't have that problem.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that game was, yeah. But here's the thing. I finished Space Marine 2, and I'm not having the urge to go back to it to play the other operations right now. I already uninstalled it. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll jump back in when I'll play the multiplayer a little bit more, maybe when I'm feeling more.
Yeah, I just haven't had the urge to play the operations or anything. So I don't know. I love the game though; it's amazing. But I need something to grab me. You know what I mean? And I haven't had that feeling yet. So I want to go back. I got to look through my library and see what I haven't. I need to finish Nobody Wants to Die. I want to play Shadows of Doubt. That might be in the other one that I'm thinking about doing. And then also
that'd be interesting.
I need to finish Chaos Theory. I'm still not done with that stupid game.
That's hard.
Yeah, I know. I'm not done with it yet, and I need to beat it. So
what's really
I just gotta
funny?
Go back and clear it out.
I think you would really like the final Splinter Cell game, Blacklist. Story-wise, you're going to be completely lost.
Yeah, that's okay.
But
I already am. So
it's always secondary. But the story is pretty good in Blacklist. It's about your daughter. Your daughter's kidnapped in the previous game. Blah blah blah.
And he's
upper echelon or echelon is in trouble. But Blacklist has a hint of Uncharted in it, and I think you would really like that.
I'm searching for Sam Fisher's long lost treasure.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome.
Which is his daughter.
All right. That's going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. We'll be back next week. I'm going on a little vacay. I might be a different person when I come back. Alcoholic, drug addict.
Yeah. Going to Denver, eh?
Yeah. It's not in Canada. You put an A at the end of that.
Oh,
you said I'm Canadian.
Denver, eh?
So yeah, I'm going to Denver, but we'll be back. Same time next week. We're going to still record everything next Monday, so we won't miss any shows. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, only 5 episodes until we give our best sex scenes in video games.
I can't wait.
Mark it. Episode 69 coming soon.
Shout out to Will. Say hi to him for me.
Shout out Will. Shout out Will. Shout out Cole. Shout out Mason, because that's who we're all going to see. See you guys next week.
Peace.